I just realized something. We have raccoons, okay, in the ceiling, and it's nothing new. Last winter we went through this as well because it gets cold, and I understand. But we were just going nuts because I realized this wasn't also the year before, and I was gonna say it wasn't the first year, but so this has been an ongoing thing. But just a few moments, it dawned on me. How about seeing things from the raccoon's perspective, right? Okay, stick with me. I know I have a really big imagination, but it totally makes sense. And I just realized why, like I tested the theory without even realizing I was testing a theory. Okay, here we go. The walls are thin, where I live, and I have, I'm told I have really good hearing, and I'm like, okay, but it gets really cold when it's cold, and when it's hot, it gets hot. The sun will shine through the window, and you're like, Jesus, Lord, Jesus. And when it's cold, you're like, why, Lord, why? Because on where we live upstairs, there's no central air heat. And then you could hear the raccoons in the winter, right? Just scratching on the roof. And I realized why. What could be a reason. I like to use my laptop, and you can hear the tick 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 on my laptop, right? And if you could hear anything in the background, that was a raccoon walking by. Yeah, up on the ceiling. Ooh. One of these days, bangs in them, they're just gonna fall. And Jesus, sorry, having a little mini panic attack thinking about it. That's real. Anyway, it's a possibility. I mean, not even, what do you call it? Not even counting it out. The struggle is real. But we've had a guy last winter remove 9 raccoons. 9 of them bitches. We named them. We just started naming them. It's like Susan, Phil, Lil, Chucky, Tommy, the whole cast, Angelica. We should have named one of them Angelica, but we didn't. It was 9 raccoons this guy came and removed. And around the 3rd one, he was saying, "Now listen, if you sure you're hearing anything? You sure?" Because we called him back after the 3rd one. It's like, we're still hearing raccoons. And he's like, because we call him back every time he'd catch one, or he'd come up and check the traps, and then they'd check a trap and put a trap, and did not realize that raccoons like cat food. And it's a real thing. So he went through trial and error, etc. And we were along for the ride, But from the raccoon's perspective, I understand they get hungry, and they have thumbs, right? So you're gonna put cat food in a cage up on the ceiling, and they're like, "Yo, this is great. Yum, thank you, peace out." Flick the switch, But they have a tunneling system through the ceiling. The way the houses are made, they're like kind of interconnected. So they just use that as like their little, I don't know, underground. Not that. What do you say? No, not even that. What do you call it? I don't know. Anyway, they have their own Holland tunnel, I guess. But Chamber of Secrets. There you go. I was trying to think of something fancy, so there you go. They got their own little Chamber of Secrets up there, and it sounded like grown men, probably around 200 pounds or so, walking upstairs, right? And I was like, you got some noisy neighbors up there, the heavy-footed neighbors upstairs. They're kind of rude, because you'd hear them screaming. And I was like, huh. And then I was like, we don't have upstairs neighbors because we're the upstairs neighbors. There's only 2 stories to this puppy, and we're on the 2nd one. Well, Ha! I was like, can't be squirrels. Mm-mm. Squirrels don't get that big, do they? Do they? These are New York squirrels. I don't know. Okay. So, because in the other place I was in, as a pause, um, before I moved here, I would hear scratching in the walls. And I don't know if you know, as a writer, how incredibly frustrating that is. To have scratching in the walls when you're just trying to write. Because again, I think it's just the click, click, click of the typing that is what makes them think it's another animal. And so they come to investigate. And they're like, oh yeah, this, that, this. And the sounds, they're different sounds. It's a different way to communicate, but that's got to be another animal. And then if you see them sometimes, they're coming closer to you, and you're like, holy shit, big ass raccoon. That happened. That's why I started talking. I've seen so I started talking tonight, in case you missed it, but second time. I like being up on the roof as a relaxing, just chill kind of atmosphere, you know? You don't have to worry about 6 feet. You don't have to worry about the mask. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And then sometimes you can look up at the stars, and it's just a nice feeling, you know. And yeah, it's winter, and the snow was there, and the snow left. So I'm like, oh, I can get up there and get a nice, just fresh, little brisk breeze and the winter air, and just take it all in. And I was doing that until I got into my music, right? And I started dancing a little bit, which I didn't realize makes the scratchy, scratchy sound that raccoons also make. And I heard ee before, and I realized that's the sound a raccoon makes when it's talking to another raccoon. Let me get off of the roof immediately. Because I heard this through my headphones, because I had my headphones low enough. I've learned. I'm like, no. And I came back down from the roof, put the hatch on, made sure it was secured heavily, and made a run for it. Brisk walk back to my room. And that's where I started typing, because I had a story in my head. And I realized I have stories in my head often. And I have my notebook, and I write it down during the day, which is different sound, than the ticking on the laptop. And I realized, animals have really sensitive ears. And it'd be funny, right, if from the raccoon's perspective, they're coming here to try to save me or everybody that lives here. Like, I know they're in there. I can hear them. Don't you hear? That's our tick, tick, tick. That's us. That's SOS. That means they need help. And we're just like, dear Mom, everything's fine. Hope everything's good on the farm. Tell Bessie I miss her and her sour cream. Love you. Sincerely, of course. With all my hugs. Your daughter, Anne. And they're like, she needs help. Send the squad. And then there's the scratching on the ceiling. That's, oh my goodness. If you've never had scratching in the walls or on the ceiling where you live, you have never stayed up all night wondering if there are actual entities in your room, but knowing full well they're not. Because are you serious? Why are they doing this? Because they'll fight. They will fight. It sounds like WWE up there. I don't know, John Cena giving somebody the "you can't see me" or whatever. And I forget what it's called. Anyway. Or the RKO or Randy Orton or some spectacular move like the People's Elbow from The Rock. Who knows? But, nonetheless, for me, that's my theory. I think, from a raccoon's perspective, that they want to try to save us, who they think are trapped in here, because they'll smell the food. They know we're in here. And they're like, selfish bastards. They never leave us food. And then we take the trash out, and they're like, yo, thanks. It's so they stick around. It's a weird dynamic from their perspective. Like, we're brethren that are just trapped in this thing, and they're trying to get us out of here because they know we belong out there. So, that was my perspective. It makes sense if you really think about it. Give it a chance. Yeah, and good night, raccoons, because if you notice right now, well, I noticed. I don't know if you heard them earlier throughout, because I didn't like bleep anything just in case they would start making noise. But they walk by it like, I swear, grown men. Like they're 200-pound grown men upstairs. And there is no upstairs. Anyway, yeah, so that's what's going on in my life right now, and quarantine has been really fun these last couple of years. With raccoons in the ceiling, I mean, who else has this sort of adventure going on at their home, yes? And it was mice. I've encountered mice as well. Oh, New York, you and your wonderful wilderness. I swear, 8 million people, but the 12 billion wildlife creatures that want to come and say hello. They want to rescue you from where you are. You poor trapped creatures. How dare you be encased in this steel? This isn't natural. I don't blame them, poor things. On that count, insulate your homes so that it will deter from the live wild animals coming in and hanging out. Yes, good insulation is paramount, so they can't hear or smell as much, and they'll be deterred. That is just a word from your sponsor, and who, whatever insulation you use, please use it wisely, and may it be not harmful to yourself, to your tenants, to your family, or your pets. And have a great, warm, wonderful winter. God bless you all. And have a safe and sexy day. Stay black, will you? Pinkies out.